Hi everyone, I'm your host Lady Di, and this is Tattoos Across Texas. This weekend we're in McAllen for Palm City Tattoo Expo. Let's go check it out. Hey everyone, I'm with Chris De Leon, and you are from McAllen?
So I'm actually from Pharr, Texas.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm from PSJA. So yeah, I've pretty much lived there all my life.
Yeah.
I work in Edinburgh though, but of course, like being in the valley, like McAllen is like the place that everybody knows, and it's the place to
Right.
be. So yeah.
How long have you been tattooing?
I started off in 2002 actually, straight out of high school. I was 18 years old. I was literally trying to get my foot in the door as a senior. That's when I first got my tattoo. And that's pretty much like what intrigued me to like be in this type of business.
Right.
Eventually, the shop that I wanted to be in, like the artist there, took a liking to me. And yeah, pretty much straight out of high school. Like as soon as I walked for my graduation, I went straight over there.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been doing it since '02, so yeah, it's been a good while. So.
Pretty awesome,
From
man.
18 years old to 39. So, yeah.
So you're 39.
Yeah, 39 years
Hey,
old.
you're still young, man.
Yeah.
No, you're young, man.
Yeah, people say I
Come
look
on.
like I'm 26, 27
That's
or so,
true,
so yeah,
that's
it's
true.
good, yeah.
So tell us about your tattoo style.
Okay, so my tattoo style, I started off, like I said, back in the day, and typically what was kind of like the norm, whatever somebody walked in with, we had to do it, you know what I mean?
Right.
So it kind of like put me in that mentality. I was like, well, I gotta be good at this, I gotta be good at that, like whatever the new trend's gonna be, you know, coming
sure,
forward.
yeah.
So as far as like my personal style that I'd love to do, like on a regular basis, I do a lot of illustrative work, you know, very similar to, I guess you could say, like new school, which is kind of like bright and bold and like kind of loud, you know?
Right.
But, you know, I have my moments as an artist where I kind of like transition into different styles throughout the years. But new school is what I was first, I guess, drawn to in my youthful years. And so it still has a special place in my heart. So anytime I get that particular moment to tattoo something like that, like I'm all for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell me about your artwork that you do. I saw your paddles. I bought
Oh yeah,
one.
yeah. So I'm one of those artists that likes to be a little bit different. You know, everybody, of course, every artist wants to be different, right?
Right.
So I'm kind of like, well, there's a bowling pin. Let me paint that. There's a paddle. Let me paint that. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I'm really like all about like just trying to do something that's gonna be like, oh, that's cool. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Very almost like a gimmick, but still something pleasing to see. So as far as like what I like to paint, I'm an 80s baby, you know what I mean? A lot of the stuff that I grew up with as far as art style, a lot of comic books, a lot of movies, a lot of like Garbage Pail Kids were like a big, they had a big effect on me. So anytime I have like a time to like do something like gross and cool, that's what I like to do, so yeah.
Okay, I have so many questions.
Sure, fire away.
So tell me about the band you're in. You're the lead singer, right?
Okay,
Tell us.
so I'm the lead singer of a death metal band called Cryptic Mutation. It's a 5-member band, very heavily influenced by classic death metal bands like Cannibal Corpse, Devourment. I can go on, like Suffocation, all that type of stuff. We started off literally before the pandemic hit. What we wanted to do was start off as a band, produce and record an album, and then debut. We wanted to go about it a little bit differently.
Right.
So as we're doing this, all of a sudden we hear about this COVID nonsense. We're like, what is that? You know, and of course it hit us like a ton of bricks, and unfortunately it put a halt to everything that we had for the time being. Eventually we got to go back to like, you know, we got to do what we wanted to do, right? We had a rough start, but now that it's kind of settled down, we got that momentum going.
Right.
But yeah, we're gonna go on tour in June.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
We're gonna be heading up north. We're gonna be playing with this band called Throne. They're actually label mates of ours. Like we're on the same record label.
Damn.
And it's Redefining Darkness Records. They have a good plethora of good bands.
Wow.
But yeah, like that's my main band. I do play in another band called Severance. They've been around since '89 here in the Valley, another death metal band. So I was like 6 when they were out. And you know, they needed a fill-in this past September. I went in and I stepped in. And they just asked, like, hey, can you just be like the permanent singer? I'm like, dude, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like I got 27 hours in a day, so like I can get a lot done, you know? But yeah, like I'm very much into music. Music's been a big part of my life as well as art. Considering that music is art, you know? It's a different type of, I guess, like expressive art style for me, so I love it.
Have you always been a singer?
Well, I play guitar. Let me tell you a quick funny story.
I thought I saw you as a front man or singing, didn't you?
So yeah, I'm a vocalist. So I'm a vocalist. But what's funny is I started off as a guitarist.
Okay.
Like, and I was in a high school band, you know, just a little rinky-dink garage band. And one of my best friends, he was the singer, but he sucked. And so every time we'd be practicing, I'd be like, hey Eli, man, can you sound a little bit better? And you can see he was kind of getting annoyed by me asking. And then all of a sudden, maybe like the 3rd time I asked him that, He's like, well, you do this then if you think it's so easy. And he pretty much put me on the spot, and I was like, all right, let me try.
Yeah.
I did it. Everyone was just like, so I kind of had a knack for it like right away. I was like, hey, maybe I'm not bad at this. So Eli's unfortunate I guess like burst of outrage, brought it out of me. So
Wow.
without him, I would have never known. So
That's true.
yeah.
Well, I'm glad it happened for you, man.
Accident for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when is your first tour? Where is it going to be at?
Okay, so we're going to be starting off in San Antonio. I think it's San Antonio. It's going to be in Texas for sure.
Yeah.
And we're going to be making our way up. I think we're hitting up like Georgia. I think we're also doing like Cleveland, stuff like that. I need to double check the dates, but we are going to be making our way up. But yeah, it should be cool. It's not going to be too long. Maybe about a good like 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
Short run, but it's definitely going to be fun.
So is this going to be the first time that you're venturing out as a band, touring?
Kinda. We actually played in Toluca, Mexico this past December. And that one was kind of like a dream come true because the lineup was ridiculous. It was a 3-day fest. It was called Hell in Heaven Fest.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, if one person were to read the lineup on that, you'd think that it'd be a joke because we had we had Kiss, Megadeth, Pantera's reunion show. We opened the day that Pantera, had their recent lineup.
Yeah.
And we were there to see it up close and personal. And it was just nuts. But I'm talking about at least maybe 40 bands a day. So
Yeah.
it was really awesome. So in case you guys want to check it out, there is YouTube footage of this fest, Hell in Heaven Fest 2023. So yeah, or 22, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, we've gotten some pretty cool shows, and now that summer's coming around, some of the members they're a lot more free to do these things. So we're going to be traveling a little bit more.
Wow, you're doing a lot.
Yeah.
And so let me bring up that you were in a show, right?
Game show.
Game show.
Yes. So for everyone out there listening, I'm a big believer in just doing what you want to do. As cliche as that is, I can vouch that you can make this happen. This is very funny, but also very cool because ever since I was a kid, I always wanted to be on a game show. Growing up, I loved Supermarket Sweep. There was a show that's been back, I would watch in the 90s. Well, they rebooted it to modern times, and when I saw that season 1 came out, I was like, dude, I gotta be on this. It wasn't so much that oh, I wish I could be. I was like, no, I'm determined to be on it. When I heard that season 2 was announced, day 1, as soon as I saw that post, I'm like, dude, I'm applying.
Yeah.
And really, I went with the gimmick of, you know what? I'm gonna let them know that we'd be the first death metal band on that show if they chose us.
Hell
So
yeah.
I'm all about gimmicks. I'm all about what catches attention.
Right.
And so when I applied, it was with one of my guitarists, Fred. And of course, we approached it very professionally in terms of hey, you're not going to get some party animals that are going to be in there trying to destroy everything.
Right.
No, by day we're sweethearts. I do community work with schools and stuff like that every now and then, career days and stuff like that. Fred, he's also an art teacher, junior high.
Oh wow.
So with that background, we tell him hey, we're sweethearts. We love to show our love for so many different things, right? But by night, we're hey, it's on, man. We're out there shredding, just causing, band mayhem, not riot mayhem, you know what I mean? But and they absolutely love that because they got to interview us. They saw our actual personality, as well as they got to see that we were in fact metalheads.
Yeah.
And right away they're hey, that's gonna be the first time we ever had that. So in a nutshell, they had us. They loved to have had us. So. But yeah, it was really cool. We were very prepared to be there. We ended up, well, I mean, I'm not gonna say anything, but if you guys want to see it out there, it's season 2, episode 12. And let's just say it was super awesome. So
yeah, I watched it. You showed me yesterday. I was like,
check
what the
that
hell?
out. Yeah.
It's awesome. It's a trip, man.
And being in this business of tattooing, it's allowed me to have a very lenient lifestyle,
Yeah.
And I feel like I personally owe that to this business, this community, where I gathered enough, I guess, years in this business where I could take some time off when I needed it and enjoy life. And that's what I hope people do, find out what you like and enjoy it,
Right. I love that you're doing all these things, especially for the community, man.
For
It means
sure.
a lot.
Yeah.
And that's why we're doing this.
Yeah,
The tattoo
exactly.
community
And that's good.
everybody-
I'm happy you're doing this. Yeah.
Tell us about the video games. Were you in a contest?
Man.
Or-
Okay,
yeah.
so the list goes on and on. I'm also a professional fighting game player. I love playing fighting games ever since I was a kid. In particular, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct's my jam. I got a Killer Instinct tattoo. I got a Mortal Kombat tattoo. I grew up in the arcade, so I had to get an arcade slot, 25 cents.
Nice.
And yeah, I do travel for competing as well. I'll be in Chicago, I think in 2 weeks, at Chicago Combo Breaker. It's a tournament that I frequent yearly. And on top of that, you know, I've gone to Vegas, I've gone to Florida, Philadelphia. Texas has a lot of really good majors too.
Wow.
And as nerdy as it might be, it's something it's very satisfying to know how much work we put into learning just about the game from top to bottom, and then meeting other people that know that exact same type of the same fundamentals that we do, right? And so checkers becomes chess, and it becomes like a really like stressful yet satisfying like outcome in the end.
Right.
And yeah, like any time that I see parents telling kids to get off video games, like, you know, you can't do anything with that, I'm like, hey, you actually can. You can make some money if you're really good at it, right?
Right.
And on top of that, of course, bragging rights. It's just, not everyone is athletic. I know I'm not. Like, I'm sure if I try to like jump or something like that, I'm gonna hurt my legs pretty bad. But it's cool to still be in an environment where it takes skills, you know, like a lot of like mental power, a lot of reaction times, and it kind of makes the less athletic feel athletic, you know? So yeah, it's really cool. Like, it's definitely something that, even though it's a hobby, I take to heart because I've been doing it for so long. 16 years or so.
Wow, you're definitely a professional.
Yes,
for
I love
sure.
it. Yeah, it's so great.
You showed me a video. Was it a contest or I think
Yes.
for the video games?
So last year, that was same tournament I mentioned in Chicago, Combo Breaker. Last year, I was in top 8 for Killer Instinct in particular, and yeah, it's always satisfying to do well at these tournaments, and everybody wants to at least make it into the top 8. Because, you know, depending on how many people enter, over hundreds, you know, close to 100, it's very satisfying knowing that out of everyone, you're the final 8. And of course, it's always best to get first place.
Yeah.
I got 5th last year, but still really need to be in the top 8 spot. So.
But it went pretty well for you, man.
Oh yeah, because you can kind of like live like a nerdy rock star at times, because you do have people that appreciate like how you play. They you know, you give them advice on how to get better, and it's just like anything, you know, like if you have all this experience in something, the little people they look up to certain people, right? And of course, you don't want to be a schmuck about it. You want to tell them exactly what you went through and give them some, you know, words of advice so that they don't give up on what it is they want to achieve.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you're doing that, because there's a lot of people that need guidance
Yeah.
and the right kind of guidance.
Yeah, I'm not going to be here forever, so
Yeah.
the least I can do is just at least encourage people to do the same, you know? So.
It sounds like you're living your life to the fullest.
I feel like I am. I've been very fortunate and like blessed to just be able to do like what I thought would never be possible.
Right.
Sometimes I tell people, with all the cool stuff that happens to me, I'm in a coma somewhere. I always say this. I'm gonna wake up and be like, oh, it was just a dream. But
Yeah.
no, I feel like it's definitely been a nice life. And I'm very fortunate for it, and everyone that's always supported me too.
Is there anything else that we might be missing?
Well, I haven't landed in a movie yet, but I'd love to do that. Maybe
Oh,
one day.
hell yeah.
Yeah, who knows, right? But like I said, I'm a big believer in just going after something. You chase dreams, you don't chase girls. Don't chase boys, you chase your dreams first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm really big into that. So, you know, sky's the limit. I'm still doing, I still have stuff to achieve with the band, you know? And hopefully, yeah, hopefully I still have more stories to tell as I get older. So.
Well, I would love to hear the rest of your stories as they come
Yeah,
through for you,
sure,
and I know they will.
Yeah.
So let me just say that everything you've told me and shared with me is so inspiring.
Yeah.
It is truly, especially for me. I'm pretty sure that, you know, everybody's watching. You're gonna reach out to a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's good to have a crew with you, and then like everything that you're doing, because I think it's really important to capture certain moments.
Yes.
You'd be surprised how often people can regret not getting certain things on film or listening to certain people talk. Obviously I can talk, I'm a big talker, right? What's so beautiful about tattooing is that I tattoo on so many different people that have so many different stories. And if they're telling me about their tattoo in particular, or just telling me about their job, like, it's amazing to me how there's so much out there that I don't know about.
Right.
And the fact that like the stuff they say is very memorable, it's almost a shame that not everyone can tell their stories. So please, by all means, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
I think it's amazing that you get to capture the heart and soul from people.
Yes, and that's what we're finding out that, you know, it's their stories, you know, about their life, how they got there, and they open up to us, and it's amazing, just like you did.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing, you know, along with your artwork, you know, tattooing, everything that you're building for yourself and everybody in the tattoo community. You know, we do tattoo shop episodes.
Yes, yeah.
We're tattooing their clients, and we do one-on-one interviews like this.
Right, yeah, that's
And
cool.
so they share as much as they want to, and then we're sharing everything with the world.
That's awesome.
You know, and that's the way it should be, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and like I said, camera work and everything, camera guy, man, thank you so much for capturing this moment. You got my good side, I hope. But yeah, like I said, keep up the good work, because
Thank you.
stuff like this is always going to be interesting. So the more you reach out to people, you'll keep getting them coming. You know what I mean? So.
Chris, it's been a pleasure meeting you.
All right,
man.
yeah. We gotta
Hey,
get the
I wanna-
metal horns together like that.
For sure.
All right, yeah.
I gotta check out one of your shows for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
If
yeah.
you go to San Antonio, I mean, we do a lot of traveling, so
June 17th, we're going to be out there. It's a Saturday, so you know, make some plans if you'd like.
let's do it, man.
You know, if you want to go out there, you want to interview like musicians and stuff like that. Like I said, the sky's the limit. The world's really huge, and you got a lot of people to talk to. So
Thank you so much,
no
Chris.
problem. All right, we'll see ya.
See ya.
Cool.
Man, you're one of my best interviews we've had so far.
I'm telling you, man.